Secret Origins, Shadows of Sahara, Episode 1, Whispers from the Dust. Echoes of empires that mapped the invisible stars, conquered pharaohs in their own palaces, and traded gold with gods from the void. What if Africa's greatest secrets weren't lost to time, but stolen by those who feared their light? Tonight, we unearth the forbidden. Civilizations so advanced, they make our history books look like lies. Dare you step into the shadows? Welcome to Secret Origins. The veil of history is thinner than you think. For centuries, we've been spoon-fed tales of glory from Greece's marble halls, Rome's iron legions, and Egypt's golden Nile. But what lurks beyond the textbooks? Empires older than the pyramids themselves, kingdoms that pierce the heavens without a single lens, and ocean-spanning traders who sailed before the first compass dreamed of north. These weren't myths. They were masters of worlds we can scarcely imagine, yet their names vanished, buried under layers of deliberate silence. Why? Because the colonizers who redrew the maps couldn't conquer Africa's mind, so they erased its memory. Picture it. A continent branded the dark continent, not for lack of sun, but for the brilliance they dimmed. European scribes spun a venomous lie. Africans had no script, no stone wonders, no star-woven science. A myth that stuck like sand in the wind, but the earth betrays them. In Zimbabwe's haunted hills, cyclopean walls rise without mortar, defying gravity and gravity's architects. In Mali's starlit sands, astronomers charted eclipses with eyes alone, centuries before Europe's enlightenment. And in Ethiopia's crimson cliffs, churches hewn from living rock hum with frequencies that bend the soul. These weren't savages' scratches in the dirt. These were empires, systems of shadow and starfire, timelines twisted beyond our linear chains. The conspiracy? A rewrite by Quill and Conquest. What couldn't be chained was chronicled into oblivion. But tonight we claw it back. Are you brave enough to face the ghosts? Let's plunge into the abyss where Africa's erased titans await. First shadow, the Kushite conquerors, pharaohs from the south. When pyramids pierce your dreams, Egypt claims the crown. But what if I told you the Nile's true masters rose from its shadowed underbelly? Deeper, darker, deadlier. Enter Kush, the serpent kingdom that slithered north and seized the throne. For over a millennium, this enigma throbbed in modern Sudan's sun-baked heart. Capitals shifting like secrets from Nepeda's throne to Meroe's iron forge. Neighbors to Egypt? They were its devourers. In the 8th century BCE, Kushite blades flashed, a cataclysmic conquest birthing the 25th dynasty. Black pharaohs like pies stormed the delta, their war cries echoing through eternity, reviving the pyramid's fire and fusing Nile gods with untamed African spirits. Yet here's the chill. While Tutankhamun's mask gleams in every gallery Kush, a whisper, a footnote, a fraudulent fade. Why? It shatters the fairy tale. Africa as eternal pupil to Egypt's lone light. Colonial quills quivered at the truth. Kush built more pyramids than their northern foes. Over 200 sentinel spires crowd Sudan's royal graves at Nuri and El Kuru, steep, star-lined behemoths of precision-cut stone, chambers alive with murals of cosmic rebirth. No crude copies, evolutions, and their shadows stretch further. Meroe's furnaces smelted iron eons before Europe's smiths stirred. Hafer's vast veiled reservoirs tamed deserts into thriving veins, birthing cities from barren bone. Divine whispers, star-fallen sages, oral echoes hint at celestial tutors, knowledge dripping from a void. But the scrolls? Sealed. The tales? Starved. What felled this phantom? Sands shifted. Invaders struck. Aksum's axes in the 4th century CE razed Meroe to rubble. Cities crumbled. Stories sank. But the true eclipse? Western whispers. Mere Egyptian echoes. Artifacts reclassified. Dynasties dissolved. Kush, the Nile's nightmare sovereign, became a specter. Until now. Feel its gaze? Second shadow. Great Zimbabwe. The mortarless enigma. From Nile's curse to southern storm. A city of stones that screamed defiance. Hidden in Zimbabwe's mist-shrouded highlands, Great Zimbabwe slumbers, a labyrinth of dry stacked walls that mocked the mortar-bound world. Between the 11th and 15th centuries, this colossus cradled 18,000 souls, a pulsing hub where gold flowed like blood to China, Persia, India. At its core, the Great Enclosure, a 820-foot circumference titan, 36 feet tall, walls woven without a drop of cement. Precision, otherworldly. Curves carved with geometric ghosts, standing sentinel against time's siege. But the horror. When British boots unearthed it in the 1800s, colonial eyes recoiled. Impossible, they hissed. Not African hands. Phoenician phantoms? Arab apparitions? Egyptian exiles? Anything but the Shona's fire-forged kin, the Bantu ancestors who etched this epic from Earth's own hide. Proof pierces a lie. Carbon whispers from the 11th century. Digs unearth ivory tusks, Persian porcelain, Indian glass, trade threads spanning oceans. Shona geometry bent stone to wool. Planned cities like cosmic mandalas. Yet textbooks? Mystery unsolved. Why? Because this proves sub-Saharan sovereignty. Science, sovereignty. Stars before the white sails came. A thorn too sharp for empire's throat. The vanishing? A 15th century shroud. Droughts drained. Routes rerouted. Foreign shadows loomed. Arab avarice. European eyes. Deliberate decay for plunder's ease. Zimbabwe faded to folklore, its builders to myth. But the stones? They remember. Listen close. Third shadow. Timbuktu starlit tomes. The Mali mirage. Deeper into the veil. West Africa's Sahara fringe, where intellect burned brighter than the sun. Timbuktu, Mali's midnight jewel, 12 miles from the Niger's whisper. By the 14th century, its madrasas swarmed 25,000 minds, libraries groaning under 700,000 manuscripts in Arabic ink. Not fables. Formulas. Math unraveling heliocentrism pre-Copernicus. Medicine mending the invisible. Astronomy aligning fates with forgotten orbits. Dismissed as desert delusion by Western whispers. Mythical mirage. Despite the stacked screaming truth. Rediscovered. Reburied in vaults. Untranslated. Untaught. Why? An African Ivy League? Unthinkable. It unmasked the Dark Ages as Europe's alone, while Mali mapped the multiverse. And at its helm, Musa Musa, Shadow King of Infinities. In 1324, his Mecca march, 60,000 strong, gold camels flooding Cairo into crisis, inflated economies to ruin. Richest soul ever? Undeniable. Gold veins, fertile fields, trade tentacles to Asia's edge. Black, Muslim, mightier than monarchs. Curriculum curse, too disruptive, too dazzling. But Mali's mysteries multiply. Astronomers etched eclipses with eerie exactitude. Planetary dances decoded sand scope. Ancestral stargazing, or elder echoes from abyss. Then the Dogon, cliff dwellers guarding Sirius's siren call. The Dogon's cosmic veil. High in Mali's crags, the Dogon hoard heaven's hacks. Pre-telescope, they pierce Sirius B, invisible white dwarf. 50-year orbit, dense as doom. Detailed, diabolical. French Shadows Grial and Dieterlen unveiled it in the 50s. From 30s whispers predating Western proof. Source? Namo. Amphibious star sages, fish-finned and dual-souled, descending in spinning arcs with agriculture's seed. Languages lash, wisdom's weight. They ascended, vowing return. Allegory? Or archived invasion? Dogon dogma spins universes from Alma's exploding egg, whispers atoms and orbits Ian's early. Encoded in masks, myths, no paper, pure pulse. No precursor. Knowledge arrives. Inherited, they insist, from Namo's nebula. Messengers? Or memory keepers of mankind's mass dawn? The void stares back. Fourth shadow, Nubia's black pharaohs. The Nile's twin flame. Rewind to the 25th Dynasty's thunder. Nubia, Sudan's southern storm, devouring Egypt whole. Black pharaohs, Pi's fury, Shabaka's steel, Taharka's biblical blade against Assyria. Reignited temples, redrew realms. Bible nods, history? Nods off, not mimicry, mirroring. Ammonius, Isis, Osiris twisted with Nubian fire. Female candidate queens wielding priestly power. Temples tuned to Nile's pulsing star songs. Jebel Barkal's peaks. Portals of soul fire. Rebirth rites rivaling quantum dreams. Who awakened whom? Egypt's light from Nubia's night. Fall? Faded post-dynasty, but erasure? Eternal. Copied curios. Colonial curators sneered. Artifacts Egyptianized. Dynasties dissolved. Nubia? Neglected note. Yet pyramids plead, priesthoods pulse. Conquerors condemned to quiet. Fifth shadow. Aksum's Ark of Eternity. Ethiopia's hidden heart. Northern enigma. Aksum, first-century Titan minting mysteries. Trading Rome to Red Sea. India to infinity. Gold Guardian? Perhaps? The K-Bernagas Crimson Code. Solomon's seed and Sheba's storm-birth rulers. The Ark fled to Aksum's veil, guarded by ghosts who bar all eyes. Myth? Or muffled miracle? Pre-Rome's creed. Izana etched Christianity into stone. World's first empire to bow. Rock-hewn sanctuaries in Guizi gospel. Fused with Judaic jewels and African auras. Receiver? No. Radiator of revelation. Lalabella's abyss? 11 bedrock basilicas. Downward dug without scaffold sigh. Frequencies? Frequency shifters, consciousness crackers. Sacred science? Suppressed. Textbooks tout imported faith. Aksum exposes Africa's forge. What shadows stir in your history? These empires, erased, not ended, beg resurrection. Comment your chills below. Thumbs up if the veil thinned. Subscribe for deeper dives into Devoured. Next, Lost Leagues Beyond the Veil. Eyes open. Shadows watch. Until the stars call again.